This is the unknownpoker.com video review of PokerStars. PokerStars is the largest poker room online. Right now there are close to 73,000 players in the house, and you can see it's not even 1 in the afternoon Eastern time, so we're dealing with off-peak hours. And when you have that kind of player traffic at off-peak hours, you can only imagine what the room is like when it's peak time. Having so many players means that table selection is just not going to be an issue. You probably won't find better table selection anywhere on planet Earth. So if you're interested in playing a game and they deal it, this is probably the place to go in order to find the most amount of action. Let's take a look at some of the different games that they offer here, at least at the cat tables at Stars. Obviously they're going to offer Hold'em and Omaha, which includes a high-low version of it. They offer Stud, and that comes in high-low, and also the Raz version of it, which is a low-ball stud. Worst hand wins. Because of that, they can offer horse games, which are listed under the Other Games section, and Hose, and they also deal 2 different versions of 5-card stud, or excuse me, 5-card draw. One is traditional 5-card draw, and one is a low-ball version of the game, deuce to 7 triple draw, where aces count as high and straights do count against you. So the best hand that you can put together would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, giving you deuce to 7. If we go back to the Hold'em section, we can check out some of the basic lobby features. First off, the Hold'em section is broken down according to stakes because there's so much action going on here. Micro stakes start at 1 cent, 2 cent. Let me find a table here. Down here, penny, 2 penny games. Low stakes will cover your action from 50 cent to $1 big blinds. Mediums go up to 3-6, and then 5-10 or better would be your high stakes action. Now the lobby does list the basic information about any of the tables. You can get the stakes, and if you click on any of these subheaders, they'll sort for you. Average pot size and the percentage of players that see the flop. Once you highlight a table, they will have some information displayed in this box off to the right. You have an additional window here so you can see who's at the table and what kind of stack sizes are involved before you decide to have a seat at the table. If we take a look at the tournament section here at Stars, you'll notice right away that there's more information here than you can shake a stick at. Obviously, with so many different players in the house, they offer about a gajillion different ways to play tournament poker. It's busted up into 3 main headings: the multi-table tournaments that are scheduled, sit-and-go tournaments, and that includes some multi-tables as well, and then special events. And the events will be European Poker Tour, World Championship of Online Poker, World Series of Poker, things like that. So let's go back to the main tournament heading, and we'll notice that you can break this down even further into satellites or free rolls or private tournaments. One thing that I appreciate here at Stars is that you have 2 filters down here that you can use to dial in directly to find the kind of information that you want, and that will let you bypass inspecting this huge list of offerings that they have. So let's say I'm only interested in, let's open our filter here. I only want to play Hold'em, so I'm going to uncheck everything that's not Hold'em, and I don't like to play fixed limit. Once I close this, the filtering's been done for me. Now all of these offerings are no limit or pot limit Hold'em tournaments, and you can see that there's still a ton of them. I've also decided to check the show registering and upcoming only, so that way in this listing I don't have to deal with completed tournaments or tournaments that are currently running. So these are all things that I'll be able to have a seat at. Now if we go through here, I'd like to pick a satellite tournament to something, show you how easy. Here we go, Sunday 100 grand. So let's say I'd like to play in the Sunday 100 grand. It's a $11 no limit Hold'em. If I'm not interested in paying the entire $11, I have an option over here in the right window. You can click that, and that'll show the satellites to the tournament. And there are a lot of satellite opportunities to make it into that with frequent player points or $2.20 buy-in. Now of course that's, let me go to high stakes here. That's more useful when you're looking at something like the Sunday Million, where I'd rather not pay the $2.15 to step into this game, or the nightly 100 grand, or whatever. But the idea is that they make it pretty super simple for you to find a satellite to any given featured tournament that you'd like to play in. Once you decide that you are found a table that you're willing to sit down and do some playing at, pull up a table here. I want to go over some of the options that are available. First off, they do offer resizable tables here at Stars, so that's fantastic. I like to find that because if you're multi-tabling, it's good to be able to fit in full table views of multiple tables at a time, so you don't miss anything by having your tables overlap. You can tell right away that players are allowed to have personalized avatars, and if you dig into the options that are available here, you can also see that you can choose a theme and you can change the deck as well. So as far as changing how the poker room is graphically displayed on your computer, there are a lot of options out there that you can take advantage of. As far as the functionality of it goes, besides the resizable tables, something else I look for is the note-taking process. Now you'll notice you can right-click and click on note. No box comes up though. The note-taking is done down here in this multi-purpose window. So let's take a note on Dock 7, and then we'll also pretend that we'd like to take a note on AM, however you pronounce that. As it turns out, Dock 7 has a small note icon at the bottom of his avatar, but if you do a mouse over it, it doesn't help. If you click on it, then it will bring that information up here in the multi-purpose window. So you kind of have to get used to it. It's not exactly the way most other rooms work, but they give you the functionality to be able to take notes on players. And another functionality I like to check out at a room is their hand history option. Now here, this table has been running in the background for quite some time, so you can see that we have the histories. I'm not sitting at the table, so you can do some data mining in that regard, but you can go through and they will tell you anything you need to know about what took place during any particular hand, including the winner, pot size, and if you were seated at the table, it'll also give you your hole cards, so you'll be able to look up particular hole cards that may or may not give you a problem, and you'll see how well you've done with pocket pairs or suited connectors over the course of the session at that particular table. One last thing I wanted to mention is that PokerStars has a function in place to deal with times when players play in a satellite tournament, they win, and they receive a ticket to a main event, but for whatever reason they're unable to play in that main event. So instead of losing their seat and having the entire thing be for naught, PokerStars awards them what would be called tournament dollars, and you can see, where are we at? We'll do a request for tournament dollars. They are treated as a currency. You can buy and sell them, and more importantly, you can feel free to play in a satellite to say something like the Sunday $1 million guaranteed, and then if something comes up on Sunday and you miss that event, you still have dollars that you can use to buy into other tournaments. They can't be used at the cash game tables, but I think that this is a good example of a poker room understanding poker players and realizing that this happens, and then they put in functions in order to be able to deal with that. PokerStars, generally, my impression of the room is that it's a room for poker players, and they don't have every single bell and whistle available, but they're very popular. The table selection's outrageous. Any kind of third-party software like Poker Tracker or any of the heads-up displays obviously work with this poker room. They have low-level buy-ins for cash games, low-level buy-ins for tournaments. This tournament selection is outrageous. Just, you don't get to be the #1 poker room online without doing something right, and they tend to do a lot of things right. So I can definitely say that PokerStars is a recommended poker room.